As we are fast approaching Honeycrisp season, the newest Cobra Kai teaser dropped today on August 5th with some very quick sneak peeks at what's in store for season 4, and a release date of when Cobra Kai will be released, December. With the highest stakes up to this point on the line at the 51st All Valley tournament, Cobra Kai season 4 is bound to be a wild ride. That being said, what is the meaning behind some interesting shots here in the teaser? This is my breakdown in theory of the Cobra Kai season 4 trailer, as we'll be going shot by shot to analyze of what's to come in December. Now the first few shots in the trailer aren't too extravagant, but I'm still going to analyze all shots in chronological order in the event that I miss anything. The first shot we see is Sam walking towards the camera. The next shot we see is someone tightening their white gi, which would be someone from Miyagi-Do. My guess is that this is either Dimitri or Daniel, given the fact that a later shot shows Sam with nail polish on her hands. The following shot shows someone in a praying motion, which I would assume to be again either Daniel or Dimitri. We then see Johnny walking towards the screen, while Samantha is readying her fist for battle in the next shot. Dimitri is then throwing a punch towards his right. What's interesting to note is that although his arm did heal in time for the LaRusso house invasion, from what we see here, it's clear that his arm could be 100% as he is seemingly throwing a strike with ease. We then cut back to the 1984 All Valley where Daniel was about to perform the crane kick on Johnny. I will come back to this and other shots later on why these particular shots are significant. As we see a commercial style logo for the All Valley, we see some quick shots of Miguel in a black gi with longer hair, Dimitri performing a kick, a shirtless Hawk, as we know it's Hawk because he's still sporting the same tattoo, with black pants, Robbie punching the air in his Cobra Kai gi, Miguel striking, Sam kicking and punching, Johnny striking, Daniel performing part of the wheel technique, and Kreese smiling. We finally see a shot of Tori in a tournament gi, Miguel finishing part of his routine, Robbie walking towards the camera, and Hawk screaming in a close-up, sans hair. Here's where things get interesting. We then see some really quick shots which occur right after the first look at the 51st tournament. If you slow the video down, the first shot we see is Tori on top of Robbie, presumably both training in the Cobra Kai dojo. The next shot is an aerial view of some students on the ground to the right on top of a karate mat with 3 figures in the middle fighting. We know this is also at the Cobra Kai dojo because of the pattern on the mat as seen here in season 3 episode 4 The Right Path. As far as who is fighting on the mat, this seems to be either an initiation of sorts, similar to Brooks, Kyler, and Sarah attempting to join Cobra Kai in season 3, or perhaps whoever is fighting in the middle is fighting out of retaliation or to defend themselves. I would guess the person in the middle is possibly Hawk, with the person behind him or in the top part of the shot is Miguel because of the long hair, and the person on the bottom is Robbie. The person in the middle looks like Hawk because the person is pulled into a jerking motion, and it almost seems like the hair moves with the motion of Robbie or whoever the person on the bottom is yanking them. The next shot right after this is Daniel and Miguel training together in either Miyagi-Do defense or part of the wheel technique, as this is the same motion Daniel did earlier in the teaser. In the background, we can make out Hawk in the background of the middle 3 students, still with his red mohawk as seen at the end of season 3, with Mitch to his right and possibly Anthony to his left, because of the similar hairstyle Anthony had in season 3. This shot must specifically be from an early episode of the season, with some time passing from the end of season 3, as Hawk still has his mohawk, Miguel has longer hair, and both Daniel and Miguel's injuries have healed from December 19th. We then see Daniel and Johnny performing a fist bump, as it seems the two are still on good terms, and again, some time has passed as Daniel has no visible injuries anymore. Followed by this, Johnny is seen breaking a cement block at what seems to be an abandoned factory, while listening to his Walkman and in workout attire. We then see a shot of a woman or young lady jumping from rooftop to rooftop, with the final new shot of an older man tying his silver hair into a ponytail, who we can definitely deduce this is Terry Silver. We cut to the Cobra Kai Season 4 logo, and part of the scene where Amanda informs Ali of the Dojo War for the Soul of the Valley from Season 3 Episode 10 December 19th, and the ending shot from Netflix saying coming this December. Now, with those of you who are familiar with my videos, you may already know that I don't do a lot of predictions or speculations without some type of pre-existing evidence in either the series itself or a new teaser. However, now that the teaser, although short, has shown us a taste of what's to come in Season 4, here are some predictions, theories, and some more detailed notes about the newest teaser that I have. The first thing we have to talk about is the new color choice for the Eagle Fang gi. Earlier this year, a fan captured footage of both Miguel and Johnny sporting red Eagle Fang gis. However, in the trailer, we clearly see Johnny, Miguel, and Hawk wearing solid black. One persistent circulating theory is that it is very possible that Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang will fall apart and no longer work together. However, with Season 3 showing how far Kreese will go to get his way, and with Terry Silver now back in the picture, in my opinion this is unlikely at the moment. I think there will be some disagreements in how Johnny and Daniel prefer to train from the students, but from what we see so far in the teaser and what seems to be a good amount of time after December 19th, especially the fist bump we see between Johnny and Daniel, I think it's safe to say that if they do compete separately, the goal is still to take down Kreese's Cobra Kai in the tournament. Another thing that's interesting to note is a shot of Johnny and Daniel from the '84 All Valley tournament. Why is this interesting? Well, although one of the main arcs of the show is the relationship between Johnny and Daniel, whether it's their rivalry or them working together, interestingly enough, we don't see a shot from the '85 All Valley tournament where Daniel's facing off against Mike Barnes to become a two-time champion. I find this odd because throughout the series, specifically both in Season 1 and Season 3, the show almost drills it into our heads in different episodes that Daniel is a two-time champion, and also glosses over the fact of Johnny being a two-time champion as well. Considering how important Daniel's fight with Mike was in terms of not giving into fear, and why Cobra Kai was banned from the All Valley in the first place because of Kreese and Silver, and also the fact that Silver Attorney is another huge plot point for both Season 3 and 4, I feel like they left this out of the teaser for a reason. The reason I say this is that the three angles that were used for the fight between Daniel and Johnny from '84, the first angle and shot is actually not right before the crane kick, contrary to how the teaser is presenting it, but an extended unused shot of the round where Johnny scores his second point, tying the score to 2-2. The next two shots where Daniel readies the crane kick are unused shots from the first film. The shot from the front was seen in Season 1, Episode 1 Ace Degenerate, and also the April Fool's Cobra Kai anime video. It's very possible that they used these shots instead of putting in a shot of Daniel fighting Mike, because there may be a small chance we could see Mike in Season 4. Daniel's second championship win, especially with how the series presented it, seems too important to be left out of the teaser by accident. The next two characters I want to talk about are Dimitri and Miguel. For the most part, it seems that they are both back to 100% from what we can see. However, note that all shots involving Miguel, whether it is him practicing with Daniel or by himself, all involve punches and no kicks whatsoever. This could be a continued plot point of Season 4 where Miguel is still trying to strengthen his legs, considering how much of a problem he had with Kyler, someone he would have been able to beat if he was at 100%. Although Dimitri's arm did heal by the end of Season 3, Doug and another Cobra Kai student were able to exploit this arm and put him in a hold. In the trailer, it seems he's able to strike with this arm with much more ease, but for all we know, this may be also another problem in the upcoming All Valley tournament. Of course, we can't forget about our boy Hawk. If it isn't obvious already, they are purposely hiding his hair for a reason, hinting that he's going to go through another hair change in Season 4. We also know this for sure because again, in the shot where Daniel and Miguel are training together, he can be seen in the background still with his red mohawk. The first shot we see of him is doing a kick, but his head is out of frame, while in the close-up, the top of his hair can't be seen. As mentioned before, he could be trying to attack Robbie in the shot that we see at the dojo, but it's still too hard to say for the time being. Rumors involving his hair that have also been making the rounds since Season 3 debuted is that Cobra Kai will either jump Hawk and shave off his hair, or Hawk chooses himself to shave it or change it to a different color entirely. We can only suspect that there may be an arc where Hawk realizes he doesn't need the hair to be a badass, and is coming to terms with this. Out of the entire teaser, Robbie and Tori stick out to me the most, but first let's talk about Robbie. Back on July 14th, Hayden Schlossberg tweeted that, "I've been watching and rewatching the All Valley tournament in Season 4. It's like every Rocky fight rolled into one." The first shot we see of Robbie is striking the air fiercely. Although we can definitely assume he's keeping the hair short to look very Kreese-like, the Rocky analogy isn't too far off, as if we slow this down, he does somewhat resemble Ivan Drago throwing a punch, especially considering the similar hair. The other shot of Robbie walking towards the camera while cocking his head to the side is something Ivan Drago does in his fight with Apollo Creed. Now, I don't think they'll go as so far to have someone die, at least I hope not, during a fight with Robbie, but given the fact that he knows both Miyagi-Do and now Cobra Kai, and considering how Miguel and Dimitri were injured, he is definitely going to be formidable and the Drago of the tournament. This could only mean that either someone will get hurt and be the Apollo, while someone going to face Robbie in the finals will be the Rocky. With Terry Silver now also in the picture to help train, I think it's also safe to say that Robbie will be Cobra Kai's secret weapon, or the New Age Mike Barnes in this case. Robbie's haircut is also similar to the Tournament Terrors, and given how ruthless he will be, we will most likely see the Quicksilver method once again. What's interesting to note about Tori is the position she's in with Robbie, and this would also go with the speculation of Robbie and Tori becoming a couple, given some slightly subtle hints that were present in Season 3. It would not be that surprising, considering that Tori has gone after an ex to play mind games before, but only time will tell in Season 4. The last shot we definitely have to talk about is the woman leaping from rooftop to rooftop. Now, I can see how some people could say that this is Sam, perhaps training for the tournament, as she wore a very similar top in Season 3 Episode 7 Obseculos. However, the hair of this person seems to be different, and also the fact that the physique of this person is taller, though I would not say that this is Tori either. This would have to be a new character, or perhaps a stunt woman in the shot that is supposed to be a character like Sam or Tori. To me, this person resembles Uno O'Brien in my opinion, who's going to be playing a recurring character named Devin, as noted from a Variety article earlier this year, a potential new karate student who is relentlessly competitive, a quick study, and equally quick-tempered when she's provoked. That being said, it's awesome to finally see some new information about Cobra Kai Season 4, and I personally cannot wait to see what the 51st All Valley Tournament has in store for us. Will Cobra Kai reign supreme, or will Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang put a stop to Kreese once and for all? We will find out in December. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's your favorite part of the newest teaser? If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and commenting, as these all help my channel grow. Thanks for watching, stay beautiful, stay awesome, and we'll catch you around next time.